Welcome to In-Depth TV, and I'll be honest with you, this is going to be one of the most thought about things that you've seen in a long time. I'm Dr. George Flynn, and welcome to In-Depth TV. Now, I started out saying, I'll be honest with you, or honestly speaking, or truthfully speaking, or let me be 100% honest with you. Have you heard those words? Have you heard those words before? Well, what's the opposite of honesty? It's dishonesty. That's right. So where are we with things? Well, let's talk about computers. Computers either operate on the memory, the basic memory, of being a 0 or a 1. 0 or 1. So the memory is either, that little piece of the memory is either on or off. It's on or off. It's bistable. It's called on or off. And, you know, a light switch is either on or off. And you say, well, there's dimmers in light switches, and it's partially on and partially off. That's where we want to talk. That's what we want to talk about. You know, honesty, and we all look for honesty in the world. We all want to talk with honest people. And there's something about us, I don't know what it is, and you've got the same thing that I do. You can tell when someone is not being honest, not being truthful. There's a little something, you may want to believe them. You may desperately want to believe them, but you can't believe them. Something inside of you says, let's watch for this. Let's hold off judgment on we believe them or not. But honesty is marked as being free from deceit or untruthfulness. It's being sincere. And there's a lot of things we can talk about, but I want to talk to you about people, you know, generally faith-based people, the Christian life, should be marked as one with honesty and integrity. But since everybody sins, we find it easy to be a little bit dishonest. Honesty is something we may work hard at all the time. An honest life is important on so many levels. You know, from relationships with spouses, children, workplace, interacting with our neighbors. It is how we should direct our life. And that way, if you're honest, even when it's a little bit, you want to wince when you're honest. People ask you something, it should be a simple yes or no. And so many times people ask you something, and you say, yes, but, and then whatever, you know, the but wipes out the yes so that you can go on with whatever you want to talk about. Or they say, well, is it true? But so-and-so and this and that. You say, no, but, and then that wipes it out. So we're looking for people that give us an honest yes or no. Yes or no. And I went to some of the scholarly text looking up to talk to you about honesty. And they kept going back to this one book. It's the Bible. That's right. Kept going back to this one book. And it tells us, let's see, Matthew 7:16 tells us that we're known by our fruit. That's right. We're known by what we produce. We're known by our fruit. Let us be examples of a God of truth and life by living lives of integrity and truthfulness. Integrity and truthfulness. Wouldn't that be nice if everybody lived with integrity and truthfulness and you didn't have to worry about, oh, is that real or is that fake news? How is this being slanted? Which way? Just be honest. And you got nothing to worry about. People may not like your answer, but you're not losing their trust and their confidence. So many people want to make sure that other people like their answer, that they skim it. They take the truth and twist it just a little bit so it will be more appealing to the other person. Well, there's some Bible verses on honesty, and we've got to remember that the blessings live by truthful words and actions. So if we can remember that, then a lot of things will take care of themselves. A lot of the problems in your life, in my life, in everybody's life, come up from somebody either telling us something that's not exactly true or us saying something that's not exactly true. Might be 100% true some days, but 90% true the other days. So let's see where this takes us. And I just wanted you to have these considerations, and let's see what happens. Corinthians 8:21 says, "For we are taking pains to do what is right." What is right? Not only in the eyes of the Lord, but also in the eyes of man. So they're talking about taking pains. It didn't say taking the easy road. It says taking pains to do what is right. To do what is right in the eyes of God and in the eyes of man. So what is right? Well, is that for you to decide? So who's judging you? Who knows what's right? Well, I'm saying internally, in your innermost being, you know what's right. One of my favorite quotes is from General Schwarzkopf. And he said, "Everyone knows the right thing to do. Everyone. The hard part is doing it." Now, did you get that? Everyone knows the right thing to do. The hard part of it is doing the right thing. Now, we should talk about that as to why it's so difficult to do the right thing. But take pains to do what is right. So we have 2 Timothy 2:15. "Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who does not need to be ashamed and correctly handles the word of" what? Truth. Do your best. Do your best. Do your utmost. Now, we know probably not going to do 100%. Well, we can sure aim for 100%. It's better aiming for 100% and, achieving 90% rather than aiming for 50% and achieving 40%. So do your best to not be ashamed and correctly handle the word of truth. Truth. Here we come again with truth. Well, we have another one. It gets a little bit tighter on this one. Colossians 3:9. "Do not lie to each other." Well, that's pretty blunt. What does it say? Do not lie to each other. And it's just saying don't do it. It doesn't say don't do it except this time, or you can have 3 passes or 3 lies a day. It says do not lie to each other. Since you have taken off your old self with its practices, do not lie to each other. It doesn't get any more blunt than that. More truthful, more radically transparent, we'll call it. There's another one, Ephesians 4:25. This one gets a little bit tighter. "Therefore, each of you," that's you, me, all of us, "must put off falsehood and speak truthfully to your neighbor, for we are all members of one body." So Each of you must put off falsehood. Don't lie, and speak truthfully to your neighbor. And we have James 1:26. Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. Now that really comes down hard on everybody. If you consider yourself to be religious, keep a tight rein on your tongue. Keep a tight rein on your tongue. In other words, watch what you say. And this is not only to other people. Watch what you say to yourself. Because you can deceive yourself by telling yourself so many times the wrong thing. You can memorize the wrong thing, and you've deceived yourself. So watch what you say and keep a tight rein on your tongue. You say, well, what if I think it? If you think it and don't speak it, that's step one. And then step two is to tell you, once you think it, you say, cancel. I'm not going to think that anymore. I'm going to think about something truthful and worth something. So it's getting pretty interesting. Then comes another one. James 3:17. But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure. Wisdom. I didn't say knowledge. Knowledge is a totally different animal than wisdom. Knowledge, in medicine, where I'm practicing physician, in medicine, knowledge is knowing how to do something or what to do when so and so happens. Wisdom is knowing if you should do it or not do it and when to do it. But knowledge is knowing how to do it. Wisdom is knowing what to do when and if you should do it. So the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure. And second, it's peace-loving. It's considerate. It's submissive. It's full of mercy and good fruit. It's impartial and it's sincere. Now this is wisdom. Let's talk about those again. It's peace-loving. It doesn't try to stir up a bunch of arguments. It's considerate of other people. It's considerate. It doesn't try to rule somebody else. You submit to their wishes. It's full of mercy and good fruit. It's impartial and sincere. So remember that one. It's a little bit more into it, doesn't it? Luke 6:31. Here we go. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. What do you think? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you're going to lie, prevaricate, not tell the whole truth, not give a simple yes or no, do you want them to do that to you? I don't think you do. So just remember, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And don't judge them unless you want to be judged. So that's the lesson for today. We'll end with Matthew 5:8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. We look forward to having more discussions with you, and let's go out and try to hit 100% honesty, and let's achieve it. Thank you.